Hi guys, it's me Kylie, and today we're going to be doing the Mother's Day book tag. So if you didn't know, the Mother's Day book tag is an original tag by Blissful and Bookish. This is the first video I've ever seen on her channel, but it looked interesting. And fun fact, I was actually going to make my own Mother's Day tag because we had kind of the same idea. She just got to it before me and she did a better job than I could ever do anyways. So I'm gonna do this. I wasn't tagged, so I'm gonna start off with the first one. It says, best friend, we do everything with our moms and we can always count on them. Pick characters in a book whose friendship you admire the most. And I feel like this is like a common answer for a lot of people, but basically my answer is Ron and Harry from Harry Potter. I can pop a book up here, although don't think it's necessary. Now, I've never actually finished the entire series. I know, hate me, but I did read the first like 2.5 books, and I do really admire their friendship and the trials that they went through. I did see all of the movies several times, and I just really do admire their friendship a lot. They are a huge part, their friendship is a huge part of my life. And the second one is comfort. Moms are always there when we are sick or sad. What's a book that always puts you in a better mood? So I don't really reread a lot of books. So it was really hard for me to narrow down which one that I'm always going back to, because I'm not really always going back to anything that's comfortable. The only couple books that I've actually reread are The Shining and Pet Sematary, and those aren't very comforting reads. So I just went ahead and picked a book that I felt comforted by, and that would be The Chaos of Standing Still by Jessica Brody. I just really appreciated how Xander was trying to help Rin kind of not just abandon the way that she feels, but really cope with it and move forward with her life. And then number 3 is Doesn't Give Up, Moms Endure and Never Give Up on Us. What's a book you were tempted to DNF but didn't give up on and finished? And for this one was clear. I read Girls of Paper and Fire for my book club, and I wanted to DNF it for a few reasons, but I ended up finishing it, and to be honest, I wish I would have just DNF'd it, but I didn't, and I didn't like it, but it feels really good to be able to say, yeah, I read it anyways, and be a part of the discussion, even though I didn't have great feelings about it. But yeah, Girls of Paper and Fire. Number 4, Selfless. Moms always sacrifice and put others before themselves. Question: what's a book you had to sacrifice for? I went ahead and went with The Last Magician by Lisa Maxwell, only because I remember when I first read this book, I stayed up until 4 in the morning on a work night to finish it. I read basically the whole book in one night. And to my knowledge that I can recall, that's basically the only time I've ever stayed up that late to finish a book. So that was a lot of sacrifices, and I remember the next day was kind of awful, and I left early because I was too tired to finish out the day. And number 5, it says, love. Moms are pure love. They always make us feel special and important no matter what. What's your favorite love story? It doesn't have to be a romance novel. Now, as I mentioned before, I read a lot of dark, depressing stuff where people's partners are not always nice. So I just went with The Tattooist of Auschwitz, mainly because that is kind of a love story in a way, and it was just really sweet. I mean, depressing, but the love and connection between the two interests were strong, and it just was really heartwarming. Yeah, they just really connected, and I really felt that connection and just how far the main character would go for his interest. Number 6, Homemaker. Moms make sure that we are comfortable at home. If you could live with a fictional family for a day, whose home would you go to? And for this one, I picked out Citra from Scythe by Neil Shusterman. Before she became an apprentice for the Scythehood. I want to kind of just go to her family. They seem like a regular, normal family, only in the future where the society is a whole lot different and expectations on life and death are different. And the reason I chose that was because, one, they seem like a really chill, normal family, average stuff, but their way of life is different. And if I went to just a normal, chill family, I feel like I would be able to experience the world that they live in on a whole different level than what we actually live in. So that's kind of where my thought process went on that one. 7, forgiving. Despite our mistakes and shortcomings, moms are always ready to forgive. Name a character you hate, but eventually would forgive. I went with Floyd from Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. And in this, I can't say a ton without really spoiling, but I feel like just given the whole circumstances, if you've read that book and the position he was put in, yes, keeping the secret was a really shitty thing to do, like horribly shitty. And it made me really mad, kind of as I realized that he knew what was going on but wasn't saying anything and was still proceeding to be in a relationship with this the main woman. Yikes. But I feel like if I were put in that position, I wouldn't really know how to address that either. And maybe years down the road, many, many, many years, I could learn to forgive. You feel me? I hope you do. And the 8th prompt is teacher. Moms are our first teachers that continue to guide and mentor us through our lives. Name a book that has taught you things that will stay with you forever. This one I went with Educated by Tara Westover, mainly because I feel like we forget sometimes what kind of things we have access to, including things like education and like medical facilities. No matter, I mean, and as far as like insurance in America and all that goes, I understand it's hard, but there are situations where people don't have access to that, period. And I feel like we can take those kinds of things for granted sometimes. And reading that book, it really kind of shined that light on me. And I realized that I actually have it pretty easy. And I just don't think I'll ever forget that. And I really appreciate all of the little things that I have access to on a daily basis. And the last one is dedication. It says I can add a personal message, but I'm not very good at that stuff. What's a book you would like to dedicate to your mom and why? I picked Searcy by Madeline Miller for this one just because I feel like Searcy is a very strong character who has overcome a lot of difficulties, and I personally feel like that really fits my mom. Now growing up, I didn't exactly have it easy, but neither did she, as I learned as an adult. And I just think she's just a really strong woman, and I think that dedicating a book with such a strong character would just suit her well. And then the last question is to tag your friends on BookTube. I posted on Twitter to see if anyone wanted to be tagged. I don't know if anyone responded because no one ever responds to my tweets. No, I got a like. Shout out to Read with Caroline for liking my tweet, but nobody liked it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to scour BookTube and tag just a whole bunch of people. Just everybody do it. And if you're not in there, feel free to do it too. Consider yourself tagged. Anyways, thank you guys so much for sticking through my video, and you have yourself a fantastic day. Bye.